You know who it is. Dig a ditch, horror flick, Super 6, Bigg Mitch. And I'm kicking in doors with all three O's. And I'm bringing 28 101s because we Vegas sons. It's the Meadowlands. It's the Meadows, man. I would pose on y'all, but I got on a thermal. But just know this here. I will rep your max. Nah, I'm just playing. Welcome to Vegas Chronicles, man, with your man, horror flick, Dig a ditch, Super 6, Bigg Mitch. And today, man, I want to talk about, I never really, truly get into prison. I did like 20 years in there. And I got a lot of stories, about prison. Um, Number one, for you youngsters that think it's cool to go there, I want to tell you something, man. It's better to be a square, go to school, get an education, become a taxpaying citizen, than going to prison, bending over the squat, cough to get on a train, eating stuff that's not for human consumption, being locked in a cell with God know who and God know what. I think you really need to stop and really ask yourself a question, man. Is being tough worth your life? Is being tough worth your freedom? You rather be tough and locked up or humble and free? You rather be tough and dead or humble and still breathing? And just because you humble, that doesn't mean you weak. Because the toughest people, the most ferocious fighters, don't like fighting. They don't. But when they do, they show up and they show out. So just because you humble, that don't mean you weak. That means you seek peace. And if you seek peace, ye shall find it. You seek war, ye shall find it. You live by it, you die by it. That's how I go. Now, moving along, Vegas Chronicles. I want to talk about an incident, man, concerning this one cat, man. Good brother, man. I like him a lot. Got a lot of love for him. His name Preacher, right? He from West Coast Blood. On this day, he get into it with this cat named Quest, right? Quest was a light skinned dude from California. He saved from California, but he's straight from Vegas. I know his daddy and everything. We went to the First Horizon High School right there on Miller Street in Vegas Heights. He ain't got nothing to do with California, but he claimed Fire Deuce Hoover because it really wasn't no Fire Deuce Hoovers on prison yard. And that's a lot of things you tough guys out here do. Y'all tough out here, but when you're not really from a gang and you go to prison, y'all don't like to tell people how y'all claim California gangs and Chicago gangs, because y'all know they not up in there like that. Because you can't claim no gang from Vegas because they know that you're not really from there. So you'll try to claim a Chicago gang or a Vegas gang. You see? Y'all don't tell people how y'all do that, huh? Straight Busterville. Or you'll try to get put on a neighborhood in prison. Some dudes that got names out here in these streets got their names in prisons. Some dudes that call themselves OGs out here became OGs in prison. Never once have they seen the neighborhood they claimed when they first started claiming. But they've been in prison so long and watched so many people come and go that people got to know them from being in prison and accepted them as an OG. It happened in the Gerson. It happened on Donna. It happened everywhere. It's a bunch of dudes out here that think they OGs and claim to be OGs and know goddamn well in the beginning when they first started claiming that it was in prison. That they really not from over there. And to me, counterfeit. But anyway, back to Preacher. Quest was this dude with he had like one of his eyes was all white, right? Something was wrong with it. But anyway, he ran up like a big drug debt with Preacher, right? Preacher used to lift weights with this other dude from West Coast Bloods, Killer Kev, kind of stocky dude, real quiet. I met him in the joint too. I didn't know him on the street, but he ended up being some kin to my big brother Eddie Ray Miller them and Kent Miller them. But Preacher also hung with this other cat from West Coast Blood, this real big cat. This his name was Big Dub. This pigeon toed, big long arm dude, bubble eyed. Love to fight. You know what I'm saying? Be knocking stuff out too. And Preacher, he kind of wild. He a good dude, but he wild. I remember he stole on Big Dude, and Big Dude, an OG. I remember Big Dude. There was a basketball game in the gym, and Big Dude called a foul on Preacher, and Preacher didn't like it, and Preacher got in Big Dude's face, and I think, Big Dude was like, "Man, get out of my face," and Preacher wouldn't get out of his face, and Big Dude blew that whistle loud and tech Preacher, and Preacher fired on a Big Dude, man, and Preacher was something else, man. But anyway, me and Top Cat, we up in Unit 5, right? We in the room, we smoking weed, me and Top Cat, right? So my window is facing the yard. So I could hear a bunch of rah outside, right? So I'm like, what the fuck is that? Excuse my French. So I open the window and I look out the window, it's me and Cat. We look, it's all the blood. There's 1,000 bloods in front of Unit 5, right? So that means one of two things. Somebody finna get got, or the dope just hit. You know what I'm saying? Because when people be in front of the unit, when it be 1,000 people in front of a unit, that means that's where the dope at. That's who got the dope. Because everybody be out there with cartons of cigarettes waiting on the man. Or the mans, whoever got it. But anyway, or somebody finna get stabbed and beat up. That's what happened when you see people grouped up in front of units. But anyway, so the dude would come out the unit. He see all them. He know all them bloods out there. Preacher want his money. So Preacher was basically telling them, hey, come out or we coming in. So they sent the boy AWOL from PB. They sent AWOL up in there. AWOL go up in there and tell the boy, hey, Preacher want to holler at you. The dude ain't coming outside. He know what's finna happen to him. So the blood's getting ready to come up in the unit. So the boy send somebody down there to Unit 3 where E-Dub stayed to get E-Dub, right? E-Dub come up there because E-Dub didn't know what was going on. E-Dub come up there. E-Dub like asking, what's going on? Preacher was like, he owe me some money and I want my money. And E-Dub was like, and there was another blood out there too that was tripping, and his name was D-Rick. I guess the boy owed him a little money too. So D-Rick was out there all animated, talking about, hey, he gotta come up out of there, or we coming up in there. So when he was talking, E-Dub kind of looked at D-Rick like, what you talking about? And D-Rick was like, this nigga owe us some money. And E-Dub walked up, he was like, what you go do? And he was like, and E-Dub slapped E-Dub slapped D-Rick so hard. He slapped him so hard. Bow! I mean, left hand. Slapped that out of D-Rick, man. And then told the rest of the blood, say, y'all ain't finna do nothing to him. I'm finna go get him right now. And then you heard them blood say, go get him. Right? So he going to unit. He going to get the boy. So when he going to unit, Lace from West Coast walked up to D-Rick. D-Rick of West Coast blood too. Excuse me. So Lace walked up to D-Rick, right? I don't know what happened with this. So Lace walked up to D-Rick, right? He said, blood? You let that nigga snap you, blood? Blood? When he come out the unit, blood? You don't do nothing, blood? You gotta go to your blood? You should let them slap you like that? And then everybody looked at D-Rick like, damn, dog, you gonna let him slap you like that? So now D-Rick trying to hype himself up to fight E-Dub, right? So he was like, when he come out there, man, him gotta get down. And Twin was like, y'all go get down. You gonna let him slap you like that, blood? Oh, my mama, y'all go get down. Right? So E-Dub come out the unit with the boy. And he looking around like, who gonna do something? And E-Dub used to always turn and spit. I don't know why he do that, but that was gross. He used to always turn and spit. He was like, what y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna do nothing to him. So the dude walking out next to E-Dub like ain't nobody finna touch him. But he don't know. Preacher didn't run over there and picked up a brick. Right? So while it's so many bloods, he can't keep his eye on all of them. So when E-Dub was like, what y'all gonna do? D-Rick threw his dukes up at E-Dub. And E-Dub said, boy, I wish you would. And like went toward D-Rick. D-Rick turned around and broke. And E-Dub started chasing D-Rick down the hill. And Twin started chasing E-Dub, right? So it's bloods running down the hill, right? E-Dub chasing D-Rick. So while that's happening and everybody looking that way, Preacher just snuck up behind that boy Quest and slapped the hell out that boy with a brick. Bow! Slapped him upside the head with a brick. So now the blood's up there on him. They whooping him out. They done got him away from E-Dub. E-Dub down there chasing D-Rick. Twin chasing E-Dub. They up there on him. Look, they moved this cat here from one side of the unit to the other side of the unit. They working him, whooping him, beating the brakes off his bone ass, right? So somehow he get back up in the unit, right? He ran in the unit. One shoe on, he toe up, right? I'm over there, I'm trying to, see what's going on. I'm front row seats, me and cat like, damn, woo, like, damn. He come up in the unit, right? I go down his wing, right? He beat up. He talking about what he done, man. I said, I don't know what he done, man, but boy, you got all kind of blueprints in your house. You whooped your. Hey, it ain't funny, but they beat the brakes off him. They whooped his ass. Oh, be the laugh, man, but they beat the brakes off that boy out there and them raglands a motherfucker. Hey, but look. But the boy was a soldier, though. Look, he in the room beat up, right? He laying on the bed. He laying on the bed lumped up, right? The blood ain't through with him, though. Now they saying he got to get off the yard, right? The police that came up there, Sneedy came up there. They say Twin and E-Dub, I didn't get a chance to witness that, but they say Twin and E-Dub ended up, getting into it down there by Unit 3. You know what I'm saying? Because he chased D-Rick all the way down by Unit 3. I don't know how the police to see D-Rick. How you run from Unit 5 to Unit 3 without getting seen and shot at by the tower above the gym, though? That's the crazy part. But that's how fast D-Rick was running because he just was on his helmet, right? So, look, the boy Quest, he didn't come out the room. He in there nursing knots and all that old stuff, right? I'm laughing. It's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? The blood, they did their thing. But AWOL, right? AWOL stayed down C-Wing. AWOL, after it happened, I guess, he got a little too dirty. And people were trying to clean themselves up. You know what I'm saying? So AWOL, he went and got in the shower instead of standing out there with the bloods, right? The boy in the unit, he trying to get a knife now. He want revenge. So he said he gonna get them one by one, right? So look, the first person he get, look, AWOL got in the shower, right? And I don't know who, I think that was Anthon. It was Anthon, I think, the bright-skinned boy with the freckles, if I'm not mistaken. Anthon was supposed to be watching AWOL back, right? Because that boy was still down B-Wing, and all the blood was outside. So I guess Anthon was supposed to be watching AWOL back, but Anthon messed around and went outside for a second, right? So AWOL came and went and got in the shower. And as soon as AWOL stuck his head out to act Anthon, if he had him, that boy was right there with a dustpan and slapped his and got it AWOL ass, right? AWOL couldn't fight him back. He had on his shower shoes, he was in his underwear, and he had a robe on. That dude was in there whooping AWOL. He got right with AWOL. You know what I'm saying? And then broke and ran in his room and locked the door. The blood's gonna get to him. Hey. Hey, it's funny. It's funny to me, right? It's funny to me, man. But it's not nothing to really laugh about, right? But what ended up happening is, I think they ended up working something out, man. But I'm not gonna go on and on and on about that, man, because he was moved the way he was moving, and they couldn't get to him. You know what I'm saying? The way they wanted to get to him, So, but they ended up working it out and ended up squashing it, But that's just, one of the things that be happening in prison, man. When people be running up debts and stuff like that, But to you youngsters out there, man, I know y'all heard of this name, Big Pretty. Now, a lot of people got stories about Big Pretty, man, and to me, I ain't go, really, say what is, because, I know Leroy, and, he was on a boxing team with my father, and he looked up to my father, you know what I'm saying? He was a black warrior, and what Big P do is what Big P did back in the days, and a lot of people be lying and saying he did this and saying he did that. A lot of people be lying about Big Pretty, man. And a lot of stuff that they say he did, he didn't do. You know, I was up there with him, in NSP, with the situation with the boy Pigpen. All right, and Pigpen had a rich mama and a rich father. And Rule Barron, OG Gershon, Rule Barron is the one that had the boy first, not on no gay stuff. The boy had a lot of money and he liked to play poker, but everybody was betting against the boy and setting it up. You know how they rigged the games. The boy was paying out $400 here, $400 there, $500 here, but he can afford it. His mama was, she owned businesses and his daddy was a surgeon, so he had money. But they was extorting him so much because when sometimes when he go get stole, he owe a certain person $300, but that person ain't from no neighborhood that's strong, and so it's been times when Google from the Gerson took the boy whole stove, $300 and some dollars worth of stove that he owed it to somebody else, and Google just took it. So now the people that he owed, they didn't went upside his head and taxed him. Because he let Goo take it, and that was going on so much, they was getting that boy black eyes. He just couldn't he couldn't catch a break. So he went to the wrong person for protection. He went to Big Pretty. And I'm gonna tell you something. G-Boy was there. This how Big Pretty let everybody know that he was his property now. They was sitting on the lower yard bench at NSP, Nevada State Prison. Everybody that been at NSP know what a lower yard is. They was sitting on the lower yard bench, and it was store time for the upper yard. And people was going down there to get their story. And when everybody was down there, the lower yard was flooded because people was going to lunch and people was going to school and people was going to, to the store. And plus you had the lower yard, which consists of 4 floors and plus unit 2, So it was a bunch of people down there. But Big Pretty was sitting on the bench with this boy and he put his arm around dude, right? Everybody can see it. When Big P out there, you can't miss him. He the biggest thing on the yard. So he put his arm around the boy, right? Everybody looking, they was like, Big P done got Pigpen, right? So look, to show everybody that was his property, look what Big Pretty do. And this on my dead father. Big Pretty took a Jolly Rancher out his mouth. I swear to God, on all my dead loved ones. He took a Jolly Rancher out of his mouth and put it in Pigpen's mouth. Hey, look, he said, and put it in Pigpen's mouth. Hey, but look though. Hey, look. And when he did it right, G-Boy said, G-Boy said, G-Boy said, because dude, when he put it in his mouth, dude was like, hey, it ain't funny, man. Hey, it ain't funny, man, but goddamn, people, man. Now, that's something I witnessed. He took a Jolly Rancher out of his mouth and he put it in that boy's mouth. And that boy. It ain't funny, man. Let me stop. Let me get myself together. It ain't funny. Because should nobody do nobody like that, man. But, hey. Hey,
Hey, what's up? What's up? Stop. Get yourself together, man. Get yourself together, man. Hey, but they Pete though. The way G boy say, and the old boy didn't spit it out of nothing either. Hey, but this is something I witnessed though, right? So I guess Google didn't get the memo, right? And the boy, when he went to Big P, he still owed the Google some money. But even after Big P did all that stuff with the candy and all that, put the candy in the boy mouth and all that stuff there, Google didn't get the memo. So Google bust that boy and he punched that boy in the eye. Am I lying, Google? You punched that boy in his eye, gave that boy a black eye. And you went to the hole for that. Right? When you got out the hole, they moved you in the room, they moved Google in the room with Big Pretty. I mean, they put him in the unit with Big Pretty. And Big Pretty was in the shower, and then when Google got through, putting his property up, he knew he was in the unit with Big Pretty, and he needed to go out at Big Pretty, right? So he went down there, and when Big Pretty was in, he was getting himself together. Google came to the door and said, "Big P, let me." And Big P said, "Oh, I've been waiting on you, right? Like, you've been messing with my boy, So he didn't want to hear what Google had to say. Now look. In on the upper yard, this is what it was. On the upper yard, you have pods, right? One unit, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got these pods, 9. You know what I'm saying? Unit 13, unit 12. All these you got like pods. When you go in there, you got like A, B, C, and D, and each pod got 12 rooms, 6 downstairs and 6 upstairs. Okay, when you go upstairs, it's like you can come up. When you go downstairs, you go down some stairs, and you have a circle of rooms, 6 of them, and then you can come up those stairs, and then you can go up another set of stairs, and then you have the same thing on the top, and that's 12 rooms. That's one pod, right? Now you have these yellow rails right there that you can hold on to when you're walking down the stairs or when you're walking up the stairs. They're yellow rails. Now, when Big P tell Google, "I've been waiting on you," and he get up and he try to come out the door, Google ran up the stairs and ran up the first flight of stairs, right? When Big P started coming up the stairs, Google climbed up on the rail and jumped on the top. He did. And every time when Big Pretty tried to go up the top tier, to go up the other stairs, Google jumped off the rails back down on the second floor. Hey, doing gymnastics like Dominique Dawes. I mean, he was doing gymnastics. Hey, Google, remember how he was flipping off them? Hey, 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 Google. Hey, remember you was flipping them? Man, you was doing some stuff. You wouldn't let him catch you though. I respect you, but you wouldn't let him catch you though. And you came in to me and Doom Buggy, and we was on the lower yard on the way pile, and you came to me and Doom Buggy. You told me what was happening, and that's when me and Big Pretty got into it. And me and Doom Buggy had them weights, and we was finna put them weights upside his head. You know what I'm saying? And he came down and he was like, he basically told, him, you to leave his boy alone, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we ended up squashing it, but the way you was jumping over those rails, though, Hoey, the way you would, but that's what I be trying to say. Now, people talk about Big P, Big P, Big P did what he did, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of folks, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, that's prison. You know what I mean? Back in the day, people used to. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the truth about something. That y'all know, back in the day. See, people talk about Big Pretty, right? And that's all you hear. But see, what people don't understand is that those black warriors, not all of them, but a lot of those black warriors that was in the prison system before gangs came, because before gangs started coming into the prison system, before the GPKs and the PARUs and the PBs start going to the prison system, Them white boys was running that, man. And them Aryan warriors. And then the black warriors came. But see, the black warriors, they fought, whites and all that stuff. But at the same time, they was preying on, people that was coming to the penitentiary that was a part of gangs, because gangs really didn't start coming to the prison system until the early 80s. That's when people like Gus, Ricky Cooper, and all them people that weren't going for that stuff the black warriors was doing start coming to the prison system. Because before they came to the prison system, the black warriors was at NSP tying people up, putting them up under the bed, feeding them apples and sunflower seeds. See, that's a chapter they don't want to talk about. How they was doing their own people like that, tying them up, feeding them apples and sunflower seeds, putting them up under the bed, raping them. Their own people. That's why a lot of people didn't like the black warriors. And that's why when them gangs came into the prison system, they crushed the black warriors. They got rid of them. Because they seen what they was on. They wasn't for they black people. They wasn't for their people. A lot of them was, but a lot of them wasn't. A lot of them was on some predatory stuff, man. So don't be just, when y'all talk about Big P, you know what I'm saying? Talk about the environment where that was allowed to fester. It wasn't just him, it was a whole bunch of people that was doing that stuff to their own people, but called themselves black warriors. But when them Bloods and them Gersons and them GQs came through there, they shut that stuff down. They shut that stuff down.